The terminally ill end-of-life bill would allow mentally competent adults with 6 months or less to live the right to end their lives with medical help. After the House of Commons voted to advance it to Parliamentary Committee, a fresh debate ignited here over doctor-assisted suicide, which is currently illegal. Supporters of the bill say it will be subject to strict guidelines. Opponents warn it could be used to pressure the vulnerable, including people with disabilities, into ending their lives. And a right to die could become a duty to die. Backers point to those who suffer unbearable pain or irreversible decline and wish to end their lives with dignity. Parliament member Kim Leadbeater, who introduced the legislation, says accusations it would open the door to abuse are wrong.
The title of the bill is terminally ill adults. It is not disabled people, it is not elderly people, as someone else referenced. The criteria are very, very clear.
Opponents, however, counter that legalized assisted suicide has led to abuse everywhere it's been introduced.
No safeguards on this will ever hold, and it will be almost immediately expanded, as we've seen in Canada and other jurisdictions across the world.
Andrea Williams of Christian Concern also rejects the claim that it is compassionate to help those suffering to end their lives.
It is not kind, it is not caring, it is not compassionate to kill. It is kind and compassionate to care. It is kind and compassionate to provide people with the best pain relief, mental, physical, spiritual help that we can.
Becky Bruno has been battling cancer for 10 years and says she's glad there was no assisted dying law when she suffered from great pain.
At one point, I even said to my husband, just let me die. But that didn't mean let me die, give me an injection so that I die. I was in so much pain that that's how I felt. However, I'm sitting here 2 years later. But if that bill was, say, 2 years ago, and my husband wasn't around, I wouldn't be here today.
Around the world, at least 17 nations allow legal assisted suicide under certain conditions. In the U.S., 10 states and the District of Columbia have some form of assisted suicide, either through legislation or a court ruling. And there have been abuses. In Belgium, Tom Mortier's mother was euthanized in 2012 without the family's knowledge, only because she was said to be incurably depressed.
My mother, who was physically healthy because of her mental problems, received a lethal injection from an oncologist.
Mortier only learned of his mother's death from the hospital the day after she died. Alistair Thompson of the group Care Not Killing, which opposes the bill, warns that British doctors who object to assisted suicide on ethical or religious grounds could lose their jobs.
Potentially they could be struck off. So they could be reported to the General Medical Council and would face disciplinary action.
Thompson told us the new law could even legalize the sarco-suicide pod in Britain. What some call the Tesla of suicide machines was recently used in a suicide in Switzerland. Its inventor claims it allows a person to end their life with just the push of a button.
The legislation is so badly written that it talks about drugs or other substances. So it holds open the door actually for use of the sarcopod, the personalised gas chamber.
While one poll shows 3/4 of the British public supporting the assisted dying bill, its passage is by no means assured. After any amendments in committee, the bill must also navigate the House of Lords. If it does pass, some fear that with Britain's already overburdened public health system, the terminally ill could face new pressure to end their lives. Dale Hurd, CBN News, London.